Okay. So everybody has got an energy. And then sometimes too much energy with the lunch makes us sleepy, right?
So I'll take a little bit.
Maybe we should just sleep in meditation a little bit. So, where were we? We are wandering like a homeless, huh? Actually, it is. Sometimes it is interesting. I have this one friend. He's Rinpoche, and I think some of people who came to the pilgrimage met him. My friend. He is like a practitioner. So, one time he was meditating in Bodh Gaya, and so he lived as a homeless and beggar for like almost 2 months, just to see what it feel like. And I asked him that, really you did that for your experiment, like what does it feel like? And later he told me, and he said, actually, it's amazing, he said. Because, he said, I lived a life of, what do you call the street dog? What do you call stray dog? Like a stray, right? Stray dogs. I don't know, in America you don't see much, but in India you see many animals like a cat and dogs. So there's actually a saying in Tibetan practice. It says that "mite ne pi kidela tsu," means you actually get out of the society of the human being and enter into the world of stray dogs, right? And then after you live as a life of a stray dog, then you will means then you will actually achieve or attain the then you will enter into the world of divine. So to go to the world of the divine, then you have to go through that. There's a saying like that. I don't know, maybe that's because of that he actually did that or not, but he said, living a life of a stray dog was actually very intense, he said, because you're only thinking about, your main concern is how can I survive today, right now, because you don't have anything, because, and then if you get food to eat and something like keep yourself warm, it was during the winter, so he said, that's it. And there's no any other concern. So you are actually free from many of the concern. And same thing, like, you know, what Shantideva is saying, sort of like, then you don't have to protect anything. You just have to protect, you know, keeping your body safe. I think that's protection, right? But other than that, like, I don't have anything to lose. I don't have anything to be, you know, stilled. And because now that's from the status point of view, you're already, you know, like, you don't have a name. People don't know you, you know. So I don't care about the name, you know, what people will talk about me. So it is like, there's like, you become very concern-free. You don't concern about how you look, how you don't concern about what will you lose, and you don't concern. So it is just like, I think, like he said that it was very interesting, very intense and very interesting. But somehow, you know, and it is, you know, he didn't stay there like that forever. It was just, he did that for 2 months to see. It's like experimenting himself to see how these so many concern that we have in our daily life, you know. From the Tibetan Buddhist point of view, we say Jigden Choge means 8 worldly concern. You know, like 8 worldly concern. So, like really, in our life, we concern too much, right? Mostly in this, you know, like a society, maybe, you know, our main concern is like mainly how do we look, right? What will other people think? That's the name, right? Look, name, and food-wise, I don't think people are too much concerned. Maybe our concern is maybe eating healthy food, right? It's just like a luxurious. It's like a no concern about starving. And then other concern that we have is concern about, I think, this like American society may be concerned about, you know, the money, I think, the wealth. And, you know, like, what will I do if I don't have, you know, money? Because our society very much runs on money. You know, like this kind of like, you know, this modern day, you know, like sometimes I kind of play with, you know, giving my teaching. I say, you know, like everybody needs to have a credit card now. Nobody will spare you by saying, hey, you are enlightened, you know, you are Buddha, you don't need a credit card. Nobody will say that. Even Shakyamuni Buddha comes to America, and if he wants to stay in a hotel, right, I don't think they will spare even Jesus Christ. If Jesus or if Buddha Shakyamuni comes to America and they want to stay in a hotel, I think you need to have it. Because, you know, I was at the beginning of my, you know, year in, I didn't have a credit card. And I was stuck somewhere in Seattle because, you know, my plane got sort of like, you know, I missed the, you know, connection flight. So I didn't have a credit card those days, you know. So I thought it is, it's like India, it's easy to get a room, you know. So I went to, you know, took a bus and then like a nearby, you know, airport hotels, you know. So one of them I went and so I said, I want a room. And so they are like, yes, we have a room available. So do you have a credit card? So, of course, I have an ID, but, you know, and I said, no, I have a cash, you know. So they are like, no, we need a credit card. Yeah, they are like, I went to a few hotels, and actually, they didn't give me. So then I have to call my friend, you know, like a friend from, you know, Yakima, and asking, you know, to book hotel in their name so that I can stay. So it was I think 98 or 99, I think, the second year in my so I realized, wow, in America you don't even get a room without credit card, and out of question about the rental car. So our society is running in, like in this, like credit and money and all these things. So, and it is, I think it is a modern concern that, people, like especially, we had so much concern about like falling into debt, and then how can I pay that back, sort of like, so it is, and then like, so these concerns, like, it's not, I'm not saying it is bad concern, but somewhere many of these concerns become our burden, right? It's like our burden, like we have to sort of like carry that burden, and then sort of like, we like, it just like we cannot do anything. So it's just kind of like become very heavy. So the more concern we have, the more heavy it is, then it just kind of like become very heavy life, so that is why in some level this kind of like meditation, what Shantideva is saying is the more less concern we have towards the worldly, then the more we will feel free from many of the worldly concern, and then it is more peaceful, and our mind will be more calm, our mind will be less stress, and we will find this kind of serene state of meditation. So to find that serene state of meditation is nothing to do with the outside, really. Outside wise, like if you go with this kind of like mental stress and concern, even you are in a very beautiful, serene forest, there's no wild animal, just like everything is so cool, everything is like temperature is perfect, the shade is right, and then you can hear the like what you call the waterfall sound, and the birds, like singing the song, and it's just sitting. If your mind is filled with these concern, and there is like all this like a chattering, all these stories that it's like a thing, then it doesn't do anything good, right? Like that's why it is not about the outside facility of the meditation. As the most important thing is the inner facility. Inner facility, you free yourself from all these worry, all this anxiety, all this like what do you call, worldly concern. And how to do that, that's what Shantideva was saying, is you should understand that this is all our attachment, that we have the biggest obstacle. Our attachment is our attachment to our own idea. So if we let go of that attachment to our own idea, I think it is then like you can actually imagine, like just we can sit here and then pull ourselves away from that story that we have created, the character. We are not that character, it is just a story. The society that we have created, this is just my story. So if you pull yourself, isolate yourself from that by understanding that it is just a merely projection, it's my story, it's just my idea, and I'm not attached to, I'm letting go, I'm not totally attached to this idea that I am, I created, then you already feel little kind of what you call spacious, right? You feel a little bit more stress-free. So the more you actually isolate from your own story, then the more actually you will feel like you can meditate. So that is what Master Shantideva is actually saying. So Now, after, understanding the advantage, right? Understanding the advantage of like the beauty of the isolation, beauty of the solitude, then what you should meditate. So one, as an individual, when you find that spot, that serene state in your mind, then what should you meditate? Where should you focus? Is you should meditate on bodhicitta, the spirit of awakening. I think in the translation it says that spirit of awakening, right? So spirit of awakening is bodhicitta. So bodhicitta mind, literally bodhi means enlightenment, chitta means the awakening mind, right? The heart. So generating the inspiration to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that is the object of the meditation. So what you need to meditate is you should meditate on bodhicitta, the spirit of awakening. So now verses 90. So in the verses 90, chanju semne gombar cha. So first of all, when we are meditating on the bodhicitta, what you should meditate, what can, where should you meditate, what should you analyze is, first of all, tangbo bede gom means, da shendo nyamba nis, means, da means, oneself. Shen means other, da shen. Nyamba means equal. So now, first of all, meditate on the equalness. I don't know, should I use the word equanimity? Equanimity, like a same, equal? Equality, right? So the equality of oneself and the others. So this is very important, this like understanding the equality of the oneself and others. That is first, before you meditate on bodhicitta, you need to get to that point by understanding and by actually really feeling it or experiencing the equalness, that I am not different from others. Others are not different from me. So it is like, we are same. And tangbo nido bedagom. So that is why an equal, there are many different levels of equals, right? So like what kind of equal, from what point of view, like we are equal is myself and others equal in I wanted to be happy and everybody wanted to be happy, right? That's equal, right? I think that's the same. There's like I wanted to be happy and everyone wanted to be happy. Not only human being, even a small insect, right? Small, there's like a tiny creature living inside the ocean, under the ground. All these, moving creature, everything, what are they doing? What do they want? Equal. From that point of view, we are equal. Equally, they wanted to be happy, right? Whatever they do, even a small insect moving into east, if they are going, why are they going towards the east? Because they wanted to be happy, right? I think it's a simple question. Why did chicken cross the road? Because they want to be happy. They think they will be much happier if they go to the other end of the road, right? And this small insect, right? Like the mosquitoes, they are coming, they are biting us, they're eating our blood. Why are they doing it? Because they wanted to be happy. Because they think, and even some insect, they are running, like the, jumping into the fire. Why are they doing it? Because they wanted to be happy. So I think this is very simple, right? It is so simple that we just kind of ignore it. But actually, it is not simple. It is, it is showing we are all equal. So, there is no sort of like first of all, why equality is important in meditation is we need to understand that, it's equal, like everybody, we all have equal rights to be happy. Because that is like the basis of the bodhicitta. Because on that ground, we can actually grow our love and compassion. Because if our ground, the foundation is not, it is like when we are growing some, when we are growing some, what do you call, harvest, or, like a rice, or, barley, or, maize, corn, right? Like all this, when, as a farmer, what do? First, they make the field even, right? If you know how to grow the rice, if you know how to grow the corn, if you don't know how to, like a farmer, I grew up as a farmer when I was a little boy. So that example actually fits me well, because before we do anything, the field, even if you have like 1 acre of land, what you need to do is you need to make the field even, and then soft, even. And then, in that even, when you grow the crops in that, everything grows very well. That's the same thing applies here too. In meditation of the bodhicitta, first of all, you need to understand that we are all equal. All sentient beings, oneself and others, are equal in wanting to be happy and wanting to be free from suffering. That is our biggest, what do you call? That's our biggest drive, right? Everybody, all sentient beings, we are driven by this desire, right? We are all driven by this desire, this wanting to be happy and not wanting to be, suffer, or free, wanting to be free from suffering. So there is from that point, we are all same. So it is saying, I want to be happy, they want to be happy, we all wanted to be happy. From that standpoint of view, we are all equal. So that actually, like His Holiness, in many of his teaching, if you listen carefully, he always says this in his teaching, right? Everybody wants to be happy, no one wants to be unhappy or suffering. It sounds very simple, but actually what it does is you show that you are you showing, or we are showing ourselves, I am not more important than anybody else, because our ego, in bodhicitta meditation, the worst, what do you call, the worst obstacle is selfishness, right? The self, I am more important than others. That's we actually, that's our attitude. We are in that state, thinking that, everybody has this, if we say, what is the really most important thing in the whole universe? Of course we will say, me, I am the most important person in the whole universe, So if this so everybody, so then it is like there's 100 people in one room, and everybody got an I, right? Like me, I. So then there are 100 important people, right? VIP, very important person. So, and this group of 100 people, and everybody is VIP, right? And then it is okay to think, okay, I am very important person, you are very important person too. Then it's okay. But we don't think that way, right? I am very important person, but you are not. You are not so important. I know I am very important. What I think is much better than what you think, right? So, like that's the conflict where it begins. So it is not even. So first thing in the bodhicitta meditation, where we have to work is, first of all, work on like not thinking that I am more important than other people. So if you want to think in a very positive way, first of all, we should work on like this attitude, generating an attitude or understanding that I am important as well as you are important, or everybody is important. Everybody is important because why? Because we are all same. So we are all equal. So it is not like there is no superior, there is no, there's no superiority and there's no inferiority. So it is just like even in the in the society of like we have a sort of like a gender issues too, right? Sometimes like male dominant society will say male are more superior than women, right? And then feminist group will say females are actually more important than like a male, like just kind of. But it is not about it's not about who is superior and who is inferior. It is like if you are superior, then everybody is superior. If you are inferior, everybody is inferior. So there is like we work on like in the bodhicitta meditation. First of all, that's why Shantideva actually it's a dada shendo nyambane thangbo nidu bedekom. So this is he's very strong. It's a very strong word in Tibetan. Thangbo ni means first of all. That's what he's saying. Before you working anything with the bodhicitta meditation, first of all, the beginning, first of all, work on this equality part. So once you reach that once you actually genuinely feel, it's not just like a pretension, like not pretending like, oh, you are more important than me, but then that's a little bit sarcastic. So it is like sometimes we say, oh, I am practicing bodhicitta, that's why I think you are more important. So just like so sometimes we don't genuinely say this, genuinely feel this. So it is important to, it is not about expressing other, or it is not about showing other. It doesn't matter what other people see that or not. It is, sometimes we kind of put more value on what other people will think. It is just like, I think it is more important to what I think. Do I think I am a bodhisattva? Am I practicing the bodhisattva practice? That is more important than if other people think you are bodhisattva or not. It doesn't matter. If other people think you are demon, that doesn't make you demon. Other people think you are bodhisattva, that will not make you bodhisattva. Right? People can think, our society has, full of ideas. I just remember, I just put my, my Facebook status like, our society is filled with the ideas. And then I put this cartoon, actually it's a Tibetan story. It's original Tibetan story goes like this, that there was this one father and a son, and they have a one horse. And so actually they went to buy a horse. So they went to buy a horse, and then they bought a horse, right? And so they don't have enough money to buy two horses. So they have only amount of money that they can buy one horse. So on the way, they are taking back their horse. So the father thought, okay, so I'm the father, so I will just ride the horse. So he was, riding the horse, and then, his son was just walking, behind the walking. So then he met with a group of people, and then these people have an idea, right? People judge. So they judge him, saying that, oh, look at that selfish father. He's riding on the horse, and poor son, just walking, that's terrible. So then, like after that, they hear this, like what other people say. So father thought, okay, I think people are saying I'm selfish. I think, and it's true. I think I'm being a little selfish here. So maybe I will just, get off the horse and let my son get on the horse. So he was walking, and then his son was riding the horse comfortably. So then, not long, not after a long time, just they meet another group of people, and they're like looking at them and saying that, "Whoa, look at that, stupid father." Here they have a horse, and he's just letting his son ride it, and he's just walking. How stupid is that? And then father thought, okay, so. I think it's kind of right. I'm kind of being stupid. So, and I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be, selfish, So now, I will just, what will we do? Maybe best thing is, okay, I will just ride on the horse. So now, like the son is riding the horse, the father was riding the horse, both of them are riding, right? And then they met another group of people. Look at that, poor horse. They are torturing the horse. How ruthless they are. This father and son, they are so ruthless. They are just torturing the horse. Like one horse, two people, that's terrible. And then they thought, okay, I think maybe, we want to please them too, So then they both get off the horse, right? So now they are walking by the horse, and horse is just, they're taking the horse, and then you know what people will say. It's just a waste of money. They just bought a horse. They are just, they don't know how to use, how to utilize it. And then group of people, they already said, look at them. That's just a waste of money. And then they are like, okay, now what should we do? So what option they have? I think there's only two options after that, right? Either they take the horse on their back, or they just let go of the horse. So either way, if they let go of the horse, I think when they get back to home, right, the family will scold at them, saying, what a waste of money. Like mother and the wife, will scold. So, and then if they want to carry, they cannot carry. They are not that strong. So what can you do? Like, think about that situation. So can you please everybody? No, you cannot. Like whatever we do, everybody will say something. It doesn't matter. If you do something good, people will say something. If you do something bad, of course they will say something. If you don't do nothing, they will say something. Right? So it's like there is no option now. Either do you have to do good, do bad, or not to do anything, or just keep doing. So there's like a four, right? Four ways of, like, in our life. So whatever we do, there are people, talking. So there is like, there is no point that one will say perfect, The whole society will, applaud and say, yeah, that's, that's it. I don't think, that's impossible. Like even Buddha Shakyamuni, he didn't get applaud from everybody, right? Like Shakyamuni Buddha, just imagine, so peaceful, so serene, not thinking anything bad towards anybody. There are handful of people actually, worship and then follow the Buddha. But then there are other people, even during when Buddha Shakyamuni was alive, he didn't please everybody. There are people try to kill him 3 times, even Buddha Shakyamuni. And we don't have to go 2,500 years ago. Even this very lifetime. Like even if we think about person like, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Yes, His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Can he please everybody? No. We have a handful of Tibetan people. He can it's all the Tibetan peoples are pleased with him. I don't think so. Right? It's if His Holiness the Dalai Lama, if the Buddha Shakyamuni, or you think about anybody, if you are really, even if you have a faith in, Jesus Christ, or any spiritual master, Lao Tzu, or any spiritual master, you name it. Did they please everyone? No. No one, no single person has pleased anyone in this whole universe. So it's like, why we bother? So that's why it is like, if our concern, our concern is too much about, pleasing everyone, it is not going to happen. So that is, the best thing is just let go. Right? Let go of that concern. If you let go of that concern, I think there is a freedom. There is a freedom that you will not live your life by thinking that, this person will judge me, that person will judge me. If you live your life by thinking that, everybody is going to judge you, I think there is something wrong in it. That maybe it is a little bit more selfish, or maybe you are thinking you are more important than anybody else. If you start thinking you are the most important person, maybe you are thinking that everybody is paying attention to you. Unfortunately, no. Right? You just go. People don't. People are so busy. Everybody is busy in their own life. They don't have a time to pay attention. So why we bother about, thinking that, people are going to judge me, people are going to, and even some people do, so what? Right? So what, really? If people say, you are stupid, does that make me stupid? I don't think so, right? If people say, you are doing this, it just really doesn't matter. So that is why, we should not really concern, I think, too much about others. And that kind of concern, we will be free, I think, by practicing this. if you start thinking, we are all equal. If your practice get to that level of thinking that equal, I am not more important than anybody else. I'm not less important than anybody else. Just equal. If we are equal, so I think that is the main bodhisattva practice. That if you really want to practice bodhicitta meditation, first of all, meditate on this generating this attitude of being equal. Just equal, and then see, and then you actually just kind of in meditation you will just kind of do that, okay, I am equal, and it is really I am equal, and you will kind of that itself, that attitude itself actually is a remedy for many concerns, because just one remedy that actually helps you. And that's why His Holiness the Dalai Lama always reminding us, everybody wants to be happy, no one wants to be unhappy. So because that has if we remind this, then we are working on the equality, equality of the everybody. So then it is you are no more or no less important than other people, everybody. So it is not only the human being, we should also think about the animals. We should also think about all the creatures, all the creatures in the whole universe. We are all equal. So that's why tangbonyidu bedegom, dadan shendu nyabane tangbonyidu bedegom. So in the verses 87, right? 89. After meditating on the advantage of solitude in this and other way, having one discursive thoughts calm, one should cultivate the spirit of 90. One should first earnestly meditate on the equality of oneself and other in this way. All equally experience suffering and happiness, and I must protect them as I do myself. So then next one comes. So all we are all wanting to be suffering, wanting to be happy, wanting to be free from suffering is same. That is why so how you care about yourself, we should also care about others too. So on that ground of equality, then we generate the equal caring. So but equal caring is a very it is a very beneficial meditation, but that will not happen unless we have a genuine feelings of being equal, just kind of genuinely we have to feel that. It's not some sort of pretension. So that is why tamje dashin sungwarcha. So we should care and be protecting. Sungwarcha means actually be caring and protecting our like how I protect myself from suffering, we should also protect other people from suffering too. So then lakba la so yewan namaya yongsu sungche lu su chikpatar tishin rowa thade dunge da dedu da tamje dashin dewa donyam chik. So now this is a more detail of how we are all equal in wanting to be happy and not wanting to be unhappy. Just as the body, number 91, just as the body, which has many parts, owing to its division into arms and so forth, should be protected as a whole, so should this entire world, which is differentiated and yet has the nature of the same suffering and happiness. So now, it is like, I am part of this one whole thing. Everybody is a part of whole. So it is like, mainly it is saying universal. So like a universal responsibility. His Holiness always talk about the universal responsibility. So universal responsibility attitude. So like you're taking a attitude of being responsible. You universally sort of, like for example, so now, there is no difference between like which my hand is better. My left hand is better or my right hand is better. And I don't know, maybe my right hand work more than my left. Tibetan has, sometimes when we were growing up, we say, this hand is lakpa yaga, the good one. This is the bad one. Lakpa duga. I don't know why we say that. Good hand and bad hand. maybe right hand works a lot, right? And sometimes actually I realize that my right hand works a lot when I broke my, when I had a, like a broken elbow, so I couldn't use this hand much, so I have to use everything with my right hand, left hand, right? So then I was like, I realized how important my right hand is, because everything is so awkward, like really awkward. And even to eat, like it's just like, but when you are just eating this, sometimes you just take it for granted that you don't know how important this is. Like, so anyway, so what Chantide was saying, so in one body we have hand, feet, toes, and eyes, ear, nose, like like everything. So when you are protecting your body, you are not going to say, I'm just going to protect my left hand, I'm not going to protect my right hand, right? You cannot do that. If you want to protect it, if it is going to affect this left hand, somewhere it is like it is, if there is a harm that you get in this finger, you still get a harm in your body, right? So to protect this body, you have to protect each and every part of your body, right? You have to protect it. So because we know that if something happened with this hand, and then even though the real pain is not in this hand, but still it is problem, right? The problem of your left hand is, we cannot say that it is not a problem of our right hand, right? It's even if we have a problem on our left hand, it is a problem of right hand too, because it is the problem of this whole body. So that is why, because we are all even, we are all part of each other. That's what it's saying. I am part of this whole thing, you are part of this whole thing. So there's like, we all belong to this one whole thing. So, you cannot just say, I'm going to protect this finger and rest I don't care, right? So then, that kind of, like it is not realistic. It doesn't work that way. So that's why, even though you have a one body, has a many part, every one of these, every single part of our body, to protect them, we have to protect the whole thing, right? To protect the whole thing. Likewise, we are all, seems like we are separate, we are different, separate, like thamje dashin dewa dunyamchik. So that everybody belongs to this whole thing, that, wanting to be happy and not wanting to be unhappy. So, we should generate that kind of attitude, sort of like taking like a universal responsibility. So it is like I'm part of this one whole thing. You are part of this whole thing. Everybody, we are all part of this one thing. I'm not separate. I'm not separate. We all belong to this one whole thing. So that is how, you should generate, the attitude of the equality attitude. So now, next verses. This is a important, very important one. verses 92. Kade dagi dunge ki shengi lula mineba teda dunge te dado shenbe misuni. Although my suffering does not cause pain in other bodies, nevertheless, that suffering is mine, is difficult to bear because of my attachment to myself. And number 93 is similar kind of thing. Likewise, although I myself do not feel the suffering of another person, that suffering belongs to that person and is difficult for him to bear because of his attachment to himself. So, these two verses has a many different dimension of the interpretation. So if I make it I don't know, did you get that, what it is saying? Sometimes, these two verses needs some little explanation here. So this question is very important. So now the question comes. So say, my suffering, right, my suffering is not going to harm you. It's my suffering. So why should I care? That's the question, right? Why should I care? Because when I suffer, they are not suffering. When you suffer, I'm not suffering. It's not my pain directly, your pain is not directly affecting me. My pain is not directly affecting you. So, Shantideva is saying that actually, when you say, I, this is my, say, same thing, we put the example of my, finger, just one finger. So, if my one finger has a pain here, right, pain, and this finger, imagine if this finger is talking. This finger is talking to this finger, saying, my pain here, you're not feeling the pain there. So, why should this hand go and help this? Right? I don't need your help. So can that happen or not? I mean, sort of that is directly it is affecting here, right? It is a pain here, but indirectly it's the suffering of this finger too, right? The suffering of pain of this finger is indirectly suffering of this finger too. So, you cannot just directly say that this is, not affecting me directly. That's why I don't care. So what he's saying is, even that is your pain too. That's your suffering too. So that's what he's saying. So so same thing, like other people, when they are suffering, you cannot just ignore them saying that, oh, this is not my problem. Because actually, if there is a problem here, then it is the problem of the whole thing. So it is like the same problem, if you have a problem in your finger, it is a problem, your body's problem. And, if you have a problem in your right hand, that's a problem of yours. But, directly, they are different. But somehow, it is, affecting. So it is interconnected, interconnection. So this actually, why it is saying is, it is talking about the interdependent. Interdependent. It is if a big problem happened to me, it is not directly your problem, but still it is your problem. So if you have some problem, directly it's not my problem, but because we are interconnected, that we are all part of this one big body of the, of the whole, the existence, it is again, still I'm connected. I'm connected to that, whole thing. That's why it is my problem too. So that's what it is Shantideva is saying. So that's why these two verses is talking about the interdependent. interdependent nature. We are all interconnected. So interconnected. Tishin dala power miyuya teda dunge de dadu shembe seberka. So that is why you cannot bear. You cannot just say, oh, this is I can be careless. So you cannot say that I can be careless, because you need to be caring toward others as well as yourself, because other people's problem is your problem and your problem is other people's problem too. So that's what the Shantideva is saying. So, and that is in some level it is actually very what do you call, mind-boggling. Right now we are thinking that I have so many problems. Now like thinking about the rest of the world problem, it is my problem again. Then we will say, oh, it's so depressing, because I already have so much problem in my own life, my own world. Now how come the whole world problem is mine? But some level, we don't know. We don't think it is our problem, but we do think. I think sometimes. But we don't think in a positive way. We think the whole world problem is our problem in a very negative way, by taking things very personally. So, here it is not teaching us, Shantideva is not teaching us, to take things personally. Because do not take things personally. Because, it is not saying that, oh, the problem of the world is your problem. It's not like that. Indirectly, it is like it is going to affect. So it is like in a positive way, by saying that, caring. Don't be careless. Don't be careless about other people's problem, because indirectly it is also our own problem. So, generate this caring attitude towards other people's problem too. So so these two verses. Dagi shengi dunge se dunge hinji de dadushin. Dagi shen la pembarcha simje hinji dalushins. So now verses 94. I should eliminate the suffering of others because it is suffering, just like my own suffering. I should take care of others because they are sentient beings, just as I am a sentient being. So this is how you generate the bodhisattva attitude. So it is I should eliminate. I should release all the sufferings of other, because it is suffering. It is not like we cannot just differentiate between saying my suffering or your suffering. Just because it is suffering, we should. We should eliminate that. And I should take care of others because they are sentient beings, just as I am taking care of myself. I am taking care of myself because I am sentient being, so I should take care of others sentient beings because they are sentient beings. Your reason should be that way. Kanze dadan sheniga dewan de dutsumba dadan kebarchi na kanjirin dagchik dewartsun. So now verses 95. When happiness is equally dear to others and myself, then what is so special about me that I strive after happiness for myself alone? So now verses 96. When fear and suffering are equally abhorrent to others and myself, then what is so special about me that I protect myself, not others? So this is kind of like a more detailed extension. So, if you want to reason yourself by thinking, that is how you should reason as a bodhisattva. So now verses 97. So before we go into that, if you have any question, I will take some question. It's kind of a little hot. My sweat is your sweat too. Right?
Drink water for you.
Okay. So it is indirectly affecting me. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel if I hear other people saying something like that's not my problem, you know, like the opposite of this advice, I'll get uptight myself not knowing what to say. You know, like they don't have the benefit of sitting through hours of teachings and things to come to a conclusion. But still, you'll hear a lot of these mistakes just commonly every day, just people relying on the opposite. And is there, I don't know if it's, you know, just how, I guess how can we become hopeful without being critical, or without, I don't know, giving Dharma a bad name by nagging or something like that? How can we help people to achieve, you know, the same kind of view without, you know, forcing them to come to the center or something?
I think it is, you know, really, sometimes it is, yes, it is true that other people's problem, indirectly, it is our problem. You know, it's not my problem, but it's our problem, right? It's our, and so sometimes when we take things personally, then it kind of gets a little negative. So, you know, taking things personally, sometimes, yes, it is like, you know, like we do that with the judgmental. So what Master Shantideva is saying is don't, you know, like do that sort of out of judgment. Like also, yes, it is, you know, I should care about other people's problem, because it is not directly my problem, but it is our problem. You know, it's like it's our kind of universal kind of problem. But then how can I fix it? Then I am not the, you know, I don't have a power yet. So, you know, sometimes, you know, we take that sort of like a, you know, like few years ago, you know, when America went to war, you know, and many Americans feel sort of like a little responsible, like, you know, for killing so many people, you know, in the Middle East, you know, like thinking that, you know, it is so bad, like I feel ashamed to be American, you know, people like trying to fix that, you know, then they get a little angry, like, you know, oh, you know, I really don't want this, you know, as an American, I don't want, you know, but then you feel powerless, and then you're taking things a little bit more personally. So, and that's like, there is a little bit of thin line between that, you know, like yes, in a way, like think of the little bigger picture. So, not you know, like if you start thinking not as an American problem, and then it is a little bit like you are actually being a little selfish. So, you know, it is like if you expand it more, like you are not just an American, you are also, you know, an earthling, right? Human, a person from this planet. So, you know, so don't like, you know, if you, you know, pull yourself, you know, like this is my society, then even if you put yourself as an earthling, you know, like a person from the planet Earth, sometime maybe you can also get into that kind of problem too. So when you do that, then you have to, you know, expand. You have to expand it. So you have to expand it. It is just like, you know, it is not about fixing the problem. You know, like we cannot just really fix the problem right here. You know, like you have to widen your what do you call, Widen your perspective. So it is not about changing their view. Don't try to. If something happened like that in your face, don't just suddenly go in their face and say, "Hey, this is our problem." Don't try to change their view. I think, it doesn't work that way. So what you need to do is you need to widen your perspective and think that, okay, so this is also, this is also our problem. People who think that it is not their problem, it is again our problem. So it is somewhere, like you care about them, but don't go directly to fix it, because that will not help them. It will, some level, it will harm them too. Because then it's a, you will get a clashes of ego, because they are coming with their ego, like, then, like you are going to fix this. So I will say, as a bodhisattva, you will not try to fix it. Don't just kind of like, it is not a careless thing too. It is just like you wish, you can wish anything. Oh, I wish this person can see things clearly, that, take the things universal responsibility. But right now, I'm not going to step in and then fix their view. Because fixing the other people's view is another, I think it is, again, I will say it is a little bit of selfish agenda. So this also doesn't work that way. Because, then we become sort of like a little bit like a missionary. Like trying to make other people believe what you believe. What we believe may not be necessarily true. Yeah. Right? It's like, yes, I believe in this and I work with this, my belief, and I'm talking my belief, but I'm not trying to make you believe what you believe. So, and if that kind of, I think if that kind of, things encounter with you, I will say, don't try to fix it. Don't try to change their view. Don't try to change their belief. Because, that is what they believe. And I'm not saying it is not our problem. In a, then, in a level, yes, there are so many problems like that. Yeah. There's like billions of them, and then, we cannot go in each person's door and knock them and say, hey, right? Hey, your view is wrong, right? And sometime, like, we feel like that, right? People come to knock in our door, and then, hey, I want to save you. And, do we, like, I don't think people appreciate that. Really, right? Like, what are you thinking? It just, like, really, realistically, if someone comes and tell you, I want to save you, it's, in a way, it is saying you are in a very deep, deep mess. That's what they are saying to you. Hey, you are in a deep mess, and I'm not in that mess. And I can save you. So, in a way, it is a very egoistic belief that saying that I am better than you. That's what they are saying. Poor you. You are bad. You are bad, and you are a bad person. I am a good person, and I'm going to save you. I think as a human being, nobody wants to be treated that way, I think. But I don't know why people, do that way. And sometimes maybe people, like it. Like different people has a different nature. Some people like to be treated with the abused. The more you abuse them, they like it. Right? So it's a psychological thing. And the people, tells you you are bad, you are miserable, you are suffering, you deserve to be suffering. You know, and some level psychologically, I think people feel good about it. It's like, see, you get that. You are the person who see me that I am bad and I'm miserable, you know, and then they want to be tortured, right? But that's what you know. I see the similar.
Yeah, it's similar.
Like if you go and trying to change what other people believe, you know, so that's I think like you are becoming like a missionary. That you know, you're not doing literally like that, but it's kind of it's the same category.
It's
So
like
that's yeah.
I see somebody controlling somebody else, so I want to control that person to get them to stop
Yes.
controlling other people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Same mess.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes if you see people saying like that or people doing like that, I will say, you know, really, we don't go directly, because it is not our direct problem. So, you know, our solution is also we should not work it directly, you know, because the direct problem, you know, we work like we do the direct solution. Indirect problem, we do the indirect solution, right? So that indirect solution is like, you know, first of all, we need to, you know, save ourselves. That's what, you know, that's what the bodhicitta is about. Bodhicitta is saying, I want to achieve enlightenment first, right? First I achieve enlightenment, and then I will help, right? So before enlightenment, you know, it is saying that, yes, I don't have that ability to help, right? So when you are enlightened, then you can actually directly help, you know, help. So that is why, you know, like you first help this. So like, you know, if you want to make a difference in the universe, first make difference, this, you know, make this person different. And then once this person become different, and then you can save others. So before saving yourself, you cannot save yourself. That's the, you know, bodhisattva way of, you know, practice. So that is why all the bodhisattvas are, you know, really striving to become enlightened being. You know, that's what they are, you know, what they are striving for. Yeah. Yeah, any other questions?
What do you say, Rinpoche, if you get a knock on your door and have someone trying to convert you? Do you?
Just say, I don't want to be saved. Thank you. Right? I don't know. It happened to me also a few times, you know. When I was in Atlanta, you know, few times, you know, I was staying at somebody's house. So, you know, there are people coming with, you know, two people, you know, sometime, you know, like people coming and knocking at the door and saying, you know, you like, and especially they get like really excited, you know. Like first I thought they will go away, you know, if I say I'm a Buddhist, you know. I'm a Buddhist, you know. But it just goes very opposite way, you know, because then it's like, of course you need to be saved. So now it's like you're like, you know, you're following the Satan, you know, and then you're on your way to hell. So I learned my lesson in a hard way, you know. Sometimes I just say, sometimes I just already believe in Jesus, so leave me alone. You know, there's nothing wrong, right? Believing in Jesus. I say, I already believe in Jesus, so. So maybe you can just say, you know, of course you believe in Jesus, right? No, I believe, you know, Jesus is a spiritual master, so I believe in Jesus, you know, like, And there's like nothing wrong in believing in Jesus, you know, like there's nothing wrong in believing in Buddha. There's nothing wrong, you know, that's you can believe, you know, a Buddha Shakyamuni, he's a good guy. Right? Jesus Christ, he's a good guy. You know. So I think like if someone comes to you, you just say, I already believe in him, so I'm saved.
A couple times you said today about don't take something personally. Could you just say what that means?
Yes, I think sometimes we take things very personally, you know, like even though Shantideva, you know, actually saying that, you know, if this hand's problem is, you know, still it can be its problem in a, you know, in a bigger picture. So, and then we take things personally by saying that, you know, oh, you know, just like the world is so messed up, and maybe I'm doing something, you know, maybe I'm doing something I'm doing some contribution to this, and then people, you know, like when you know, when America sent you know army into the Middle East, you know, there many Americans feel sort of responsible. They blame, you know, themselves. You know how terrible that is, like, and then, you know, they get this kind of like really anger, like a frustration and anger towards their government, and then, you know, to the president, right? It's like, oh, this is his problem, you know, and then, you know, you make kind of, that's the taking things personally, you know, taking things personally. You are taking it like personally, and then like somewhere you feel guilty about, you know, even though it is not, you know, it is not something you have contributed, but you think and you feel like you have contributed, and then it's unnecessary suffering that you go through that. Because, you know, like for example, it is almost like if this hand has a problem, it's nothing to do with this, right? So if this finger starting to feel, you know, responsible for the suffering that happening here, then, you know, this is an unnecessary suffering. So that's the taking thing personally like that. So, yeah.
On chapter 88, you mentioned that it talks about destroying your enemy, and you said you don't destroy the enemy itself, but the label. So when somebody doesn't like you, you just go around saying, he's my friend. And then that's it.
So in situation like somebody lies to you, and you mean that is your enemy or your friend?
Somebody doesn't like you. Somebody who doesn't like you, doesn't approve of you, and tries to do things to harm you. Do you go around saying he's not my enemy, he's my friend, and how do you deal with that?
So I want to make it clear with the incidents here, right? So someone lie to you or doesn't lie to you? Doesn't like you?
Doesn't like me.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't like you,
Yeah.
then?
I consider that person to be my enemy.
Okay, okay.
Because that person wants to do harm to me.
Mm-hmm.
So on chapter 88,
Yes,
you
yes.
say, change the label and call your enemy your friend.
Okay, so yeah, not calling it friend. Like, you know, when, like say this person is your enemy, you know, say this person is your enemy, mm-hmm. and now this person is harming you.
Yeah.
So I should have to say like this, right? So this hand, see, this is the enemy. So now it's like bluffing you, harming you, right? So now you label this as your enemy, right? Oh, this is my enemy.
Yeah.
And it's not about destroying this person, right? So you can, actually not transform this into friend only. You can actually, there is a, category, I put a 3 category. Friend, stranger, and enemy. So you can actually destroy the enemy label from that person and put that person in the stranger group. Safe for safer, because if the person has a bad intention, then if you put that person in your friends group, then it's difficult. Like you cannot, take this person and put it there, but you can change the label, kill that enemy, because having enemy is not fun. Like we always, kind of worry about that. So then, try to put that person in the stranger category, and then just make that person as, as a stranger. And but then it is different. If it is a physical harm, I don't know. Then you have to give some restriction order. Like right now I'm talking about the harm, the bluffing thing, like the saying bad thing, like, like somebody saying, oh, you're like, like harming you with the word, but not the physical, and like intention, it's okay. Intention, like somebody harms you intentionally, and they are doing harm in their own room to you, which is not, you will not affect it. Right? You will not get affected. But somebody is like talking bad things to you and talking bad things about you to other people. Maybe that's, I don't know, like we think it is a harm, right? So, like better maybe just deal that with maybe put that person in a stranger list, and then just that's a stranger. So then you don't have much time to deal with each and every stranger, because if you really count the people who there are more than 6 billion people. Out of the 6 billion people, if you count how many people right? It's not even 1,000 people, I think. Do you know 1,000 people? I don't, on the personal level, on the personal level. I think most of us, we don't even know 1,000 people, I think. Like let us kind of, like minus that, I think 500, maybe. That's also too much, right? So they'll come down, maybe 100 people. Do you know 100, or more or less, right? People in your life. So we're talking about 100 people out of 6 billions. So now, and out of these 100 people that we know, then you put 80% is stranger. Really, right? 80% is stranger. And then you count, see? And then it comes down to 10 to 20 people in the friends and family list, and then, like your enemy. But really, if you really count down, the less number is your enemy, actually. We don't have many enemy, really. We have more friend and family than enemy. But one enemy is equal to 1,000 people. Right? To deal with one enemy is like much more harder than dealing with 1,000 people, really. But really, if we realistically go and then deal with how to deal with the people, just be realistic. Just be realistic, and you can count it on your finger that people who you like and people who you don't like. So really, like, there are more people you like than you dislike, really. And that's the good thing. I think most of us, we have if you count the people who you like, I think you have more people count you like than the more people you dislike. There are, like, if you count the people who you dislike, okay, so, and then you count the people who you like. And then there are so many, from your friends, your family, oh, this so-and-so, yeah, I like him. Oh, so-and-so, I like her. Sort of like, so it is just like, there are many people that actually you like than you dislike. And then you count the people, so people who I don't like, I dislike, I like or not like, neutral. People who are just neutral. Plenty. Right? They are like almost more than 6 billion, really. There are more than 6 billion people that really you don't know. That, you don't have any feeling, like or not like. Right? It's just like, it's just a people. So, if we go realistic there, like that way, then actually it's doable. Really. Like it is much easier to generate love and compassion towards stranger, right? Realistically, it is easier to pray for the stranger than, because your friend and family has a little bit of emotional attach, right? So, like, for example, in the, in the physical, physician, like what do you call it? In the doctors and, like when surgeon, they say, like you don't get emotionally attached to your patient, right? Like some like in the profession, they say that, because if you emotionally attach to your patient, maybe your hand will, like, there was a saying like that, like, that, the, like, surgeon, like the person who's going to do the surgery, if the doctor has his wife or daughter is, you are going to do the surgery, I think because you are emotionally attached to this person, maybe it won't work. Because maybe you will do over, like, so mostly it is better to be done by a stranger. Because, you don't know, like no dislike or no liking thing, right? So there's just kind of, it is balanced there. So that is why, like a bodhisattva practice of, generating love and compassion, especially saying, may all sentient beings be happy. If you put this in a way, this is people who I like, this is people who I dislike, and this is people who like neutral, right? So, and then you make a prayer, may all sentient beings, then this, like a small group of people that is who you dislike is much harder, right? Harder than the rest of the, people. So that is why, like, and it is really like, if we come to the very realistic point, it is not really hard work. But sometimes our idea, our projection makes it really big by saying that even if you have one enemy, people who dislike you, somebody say, I hate you, right? Like even if your friends and family say that to you, or your enemy say that to you, and then you take that so seriously, and this person hate me, now in your mind You know, we do say that. We say, everybody hates me now, right? And that's a very big word that we are throwing, right? When we say, everybody hates me, the whole world hates me, the whole world is against me, and everybody doesn't like me. There's no question about everybody liking you or not, because everybody doesn't know you. Right? Everybody doesn't know your existence. Don't make yourself so important. Right? This is like actually, when we say this, we are making very, 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 very important person. Like thinking that I am known by everybody. You know, the honest, truth is everybody doesn't know you. Everybody doesn't know your existence. People, there are 1 billion point some, people in the world. More than 1 billion people don't know you. Don't know us, really, right? Like people, then how come we can say, everybody hates me, everybody don't like me? It's just a mental projection. So if you say, or if you think, and if you feel that way, you're going to experience that. That nobody likes me, everybody don't like me, like everybody hates me. And then you become you versus the world. In a real world, that's only in our mind. That doesn't happen, right? So why should we torture that way? So that is why, sometimes it needs to be more realistic that way. So that's, if we do kind of that way, then we will know, we will not make such a big assumption like that, So it is like, somebody say, I hate you, and then you think, out of 1 billion people, 1 person hate me. What a big deal, right? And then, like, you can say, even if you don't like me, you hate me, I have, more people liking me, right? I think that, everybody has the same, like, it's not that, we all have people who like us more than people who dislike us, I think. And that's a good news. That's a good thing. So if you want to, be more positive, that's how your mind should be positive. If you are very negative, if you are very selfish, if you go into that selfish mode, and then somebody doesn't like you, we will say, everybody doesn't like me, no one likes me, and you go down that road. And that road is a highway to hell. That's a straight, there's no stop. And that will take you. But if you want to think somebody doesn't like you, and you can say, not a big deal, you don't like me, but I have more people liking me, then if you want to play with the number game, say, there are 1 billion point something people. Out of these people, if you don't like me, what do I do with this? I'm not going to, make myself suffer because of that. So if you go in that direction, then you are actually going toward the more optimistic way, and you will be much more happier. And then, that's the way to heaven. Right? So pessimistic way is the way to the hell. Optimistic way is the way to the. So I think in just general in our life, that's, I think, as a bodhisattva, like a person who admire bodhisattva and practice of the bodhisattva, I think simple thing that we should learn in our life is how to be more optimistic and realistic. These two things, optimistic, realistic. So the more optimistic you are, the more realistic you are, the more, there are more chance to become bodhisattva. If you are more idealistic, not a opposite of the realistic, I will say idealistic. I don't know if that's the exact word or not. Like, you know, if you are too much believing in your own idea, you know, you think your idea is, you know, the right, and everything is like, you know, as you think, you know, saying that my way is the right way, other way is the wrong way, like that kind of thing, and very like pessimistic, then there is no way to become a bodhisattva. So, you know, just take this two simple words in your practice, you know, be more realistic and be more optimistic. Just anything happens, you know, because we get a lot of opportunity, we get a lot of chances in our life. You know, there's a test every second, every minute we get a test. So every circumstances, every situation, when you face any situation, see how can I take this optimistic, you know, how can I take this in a positive way? How can I take this in a more optimistic way? You know, like just kind of, even though very hard to see the positive things in these circumstances, just be open to see some positive in that, you know. Then maybe, you know, under very difficult situation where you cannot see any light, maybe if you really focus, if you really look through it, maybe you will see the light at the end of the tunnel. Really, you know, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And then you just, like, what we need to do is we just need to open our eyes and then, you know, make some effort to see it. You know, we just don't give up by saying that, okay, now I don't see anything, and then you just kind of close your eyes and then, okay, I'm just gonna give up. I'm not gonna see that, you know, any possible, you know, way out of this. Just I close my eyes. Then, you know, that's an what do you call pessimistic attitude. You're giving up. You're just giving up so easily. Then there is no courage in it. So the courage of the bodhisattva, really, you need to keep your eyes open to see the positive, you know, side. The, you know, like just keep hope that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, just keep that attitude always, and that's the bodhisattva attitude. So, yeah, so changing changing the label of the enemy, you know, just from your, you know, mind, you just label it that as a big stranger word. Say, okay, now I want to put you in not in the category of my enemy. You know, like if you have a category of enemy, it's better not to keep anyone there. Just keep that, you know, enemy category empty. So life will be much easier if that, you know, that category, the enemy category, that box is empty. You know, like you can, if you deal with the, you know, these only two categories, you know, friends and families, and then, you know, stranger, and then some point maybe even, you know, no boundary between the friends, you know, friends and the stranger. If you can do that, maybe that's what the bodhisattva practice is about. You know, bodhisattva, they like everyone, you know, equally. So they see everybody equal, like, you know, stranger and friend, you know. They will not, like, if, you know, if the bodhisattva is, you know, a surgeon, you know, if they are doing a surgery to their own family, they won't, you know, they won't shake their hand. They will do it very, you know, confidently. So, you know, that is the, you know, bodhisattva. So yeah, that is how you destroy the label enemy. Yeah. Okay, I think with this, maybe we should stop here today. And where did we stop? 96, right? If I do not protect them because I'm not afflicted by their suffering, why do I protect my body from the suffering of a future body which is not my pain? So, which is actually, we will start from 97 in our next session, right? And then maybe I will try to finish in the next session, the rest of the, and then we will focus more on Tonglen. I think it is coming in practice is more on the Tonglen practice. So I think after equalizing oneself and others, and then what you generate is this Tonglen, giving, receiving, and Tonglen meditation, and how to actually deal with our problem, our suffering, because then when we if we know how to deal with our suffering, I think then it is better that we get a better chance to overcome our suffering. Many times when we deal with our suffering, we don't know how to deal with our suffering. So that is why Tonglen practice is a very beneficial practice to knowing how to deal with your own suffering and how to overcome it. So next, our courage of the Bodhisattva, maybe it will be our, we will finish the chapter, and as well as we will go on with the more on the focus on the Tonglen practice. Yeah. Okay. Sometime in October, right? October, beginning of October? I think, yeah, first week of October.
End of October.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so then I think we have a workshop, Medicine Buddha workshop, right? Come next weekend. And yeah, so that's a 7 session, right? 7 session, and we will do the Medicine Buddha using the Medicine Buddha Sen Mandala, and do the, divination, which is which Buddha family you will belong, you will know, and then focus on our, weakness, and then also our positive side, of our quality. And so we will, do the Medicine Buddha workshop next weekend, right? Actually, next weekend. And then in October, we will do the same, like a one Bodhisattva way of life, the Bodhisattva courage, the courage of Bodhisattva. Then we didn't decide on what kind of workshop we will do. I'm thinking maybe Pardo, right? Did we already decide it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it is going to be on Pardo, the intermediate state, based on Tibetan Book of Dead, I think. So, so we will do the Pardo workshop in October, and then we will finish the Courage of the Bodhisattva. So I think that's pretty good now. Yeah. Okay, so with this today we will conclude our today's session. Kanjubante Tadun Channel Pagina Yakati John Water Shoe, Dagi, Jinye Sabe, and Gewan, De Dendan, Drowa, Kunla, Campenta, Kebran Jizun, Los Antawaye, Dembe, Ningbo, Rindo, Seje, Show. Now let's do the dedication. Chanju Semjo Rembo Je Ma Ge Ba Nama Ge Gyuro Je Ge Ba Nyamba Me Ba Yang Kone Gondo Pe Wara Sho. May the precious Supreme Bodhicitta grow where it's not yet grown, never diminish where it has grown, but flourish forevermore. Kare rave korve shingamante pendan dewa malu jungwe ne chiri se wan tenzin gyatso ye shabe side pardo den gyuroji. In the heavenly realm of Tibet, surrounded by snow mountain, the source of all happiness and health for being is Tenzin Gyatso Cheresi in person. May his life be long and secure for hundreds of eons. Okay. So long life prayer for myself. So you do the long life prayer for me, and I will also make the prayer for your long life. Okay. Kizun sangzo dambe zungu ye yongju tenla denbe benyonzo longri zamu bengu jomba la dame denbe bendo shabden sho. Being wise, devoted, and benevolent, you are endowed with the qualities of noble being. Enriched with the Dharma, you possess the mark of a perfect teacher. May you live long for the glory of the Dharma. Okay. Okay, so with this, we are done today. Yeah. In November, I have to attend some teaching. His Holiness is giving some teachings in Drepung. So it is. It's a big teaching this time. It's going to be. I have received this Lamrim teaching. We call it Lamrim teaching Ge, which is 8 different commentaries of the Lamrim, the path of stages of, and that's I already received before. But this time he's going to do Lamrim Tijen Chöp Ge, which is 18 commentaries, 18 different commentaries transmission on Lamrim Chemo, the great treatise of the, stages of path. So this is a very, we call this like a very classic, teaching. It's like very rare that many, master actually cannot give. I think it's just like a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. So that's going to happen in November. So I don't want to miss that. Especially it is going to happen in Drepung, where I studied, which is. So I have not only some spiritual intention, I have some worldly intention too. It's like my high school reunion kind of thing. Because, all my friends, Rinpoches who I studied together, in the monastery, I think everybody is going to come. So that's kind of like I will take that as a reunion. So that will finish like middle of December, and then after India, I'm planning to go to Japan for 3 weeks, and then maybe Taiwan, and then New Zealand. And then I go back to India, which is like if I don't know our pilgrimage is going to happen or not, but if if it is going to happen, like either way, I think I will be there. I will be in India, and so then February 11 is the Tibetan Losar. So I don't know, maybe I will be there for the Tibetan New Year. And so if I count from my schedule, I think I will be back by beginning of March, I think. So that's the plan. So maybe first week or second week of March, yeah. Yes, yeah. So that's my schedule so far looks like that, but I don't know. It can change, So maybe after Japan, maybe I might come back, for maybe 2 weeks or something, and then go to New Zealand or something. So it's not. It's flexible, yeah. I always consider Arizona is my home base. So, no matter what, I will just keep coming back, right?
Eventually they'll.
Yeah, it's my home. Yeah, so I think before we do, we will do some more workshop, and then, So if I get some window open, maybe I will come back and, maybe let you know a month, giving you an advance notice a month ahead so that we can do a workshop, before I go to New Zealand or something. So maybe after Japan, there is a little bit of window open, like a time. So I might, come back and then do. So I will see how it goes. Yeah. So that's our schedule. Okay, so thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Flowers are beautiful.